Hi, friends. Doc South here. Yet another episode of Millie's Itinerary. And like I said, we're just slightly into the story. If I could ever get the money up, this would make, oh gosh, it would make such a cool book, I would think. I mean, that's just my opinion. But boy, yeah. Now it costs a couple grand to get a book cooking. And yeah, that's a couple, actually, that's 3 or 4 grand more than I got. At the moment. But you never know. Hey, you keep writing, you never know. One day, hey, maybe some doggone lottery ticket will fall in my lap or something. Let's see. Well, anyway, but this episode, let me see here if I got. We're just continuing. I'm just reading right. It's basically a day in the life of Millie the Hound, our basset hound. Let's see. This is Millie's Itinerary, 847, Part 2. The circle ain't broken. Not even a little. Okay. You'll see what I mean as we read it. By the way, my voice is still a little weak. Forgive me, but I did a food drive out in the cold weather not too long ago, and oh my God, I think I talked too much. And I must have gulped in a whole lot of cold air, and boy, I tell you, yeah, not good yet. Not good yet. Okay, well, here we go. And this is just a continuation of the 847 story, part 1. Here's part 2. Granddad and I usually got to play Rumpty-Tump whenever my folks needed a night out. Granddad and Grandma were always happy to babysit me. For me, it was an overnight trip to heaven, or maybe better yet, Bertrand's Island Amusement Park on Lake Apacon. I ran my two grandparents, the two of them, ragged. After a day or so, I'm sure they were happy to see my folks coming up the walk to get me. My mom's mom lived out in western Pennsylvania. Like my dad's folks, she was the best friend a kid could ever want. She, too, pulled out every trick in the book to please each and every one of her many grandchildren. Her spaghetti sauce, lasagna, and bowls of gumdrops on the living room coffee table, well, they're still talked about in longing and happy tones in every town and village west of the Susquehanna River. Grandma never scrimped on a Coney Island chili dog order either. The sky was the limit. If you wanted 3 conies, you got 4. That's right. She always had a few bucks set aside for bingo, too. Somehow she used to get little old underage me snuck into the big game in St. Mary's basement. No, I was about 8 years old in there playing bingo with all the high rollers. Yes, people with, 8 cards going. Yeah. Anyway, Grandma was so cool. I must have worn her out, though, whenever I was lucky enough to have her, lucky enough to pay her a visit. Though, tired as I must have made her, she never let on. Never. In my dream state, I was hollering, "Bingo! Pass the grated cheese, please! Rumpty-tump, 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 rumpty-coney." Suddenly, I was back in my good old living room and standing next to the lamp. Yep. Present times came back to me, and Sandy was telling me to snap out of it and feed our little girl. I watched my hands go from the hands of a 4-year-old to old geezer hands holding Millie's breakfast plate. The little smiley face made of rice grains looked up at me. It looked like it was frowning, like I should hurry. Millie was barking, but it was her happy bark. Her bark sort of sounded like she was saying, "Break, break, 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 breakfast! Ruff, 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 breakfast!" Yeah, like that. And Sandy pointed to the plate in my hands. I snapped out of the fog and knelt down to Millie and gave her wonderful breakfast I made for her just like the day before and the day before that. I wondered if my grandparents or parents were watching from heaven. They would have been smiling and laughing at how I became a chip off the old block. It would have tickled them to see how Sandy and I treat Millie and how she loves us and pays us back in full with a simple, enthusiastic wag of her tail and a bark for more, more, more. There you go. Anyway, there you are, friends. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about my voice, but it's just going to have to do till it gets better. We'll see you later now. Bye-bye. God bless.